Yeah, I mean, it must be a generational thing. Because I don't really understand half the things my mom's into.
You and your mom are close, huh? That's sweet.
Yeah, well, we moved around together a lot.
Well, I mean, you're here now. Maybe someday you'll feel like Jersey's your home.
Hey, I'm Derek.
And I'm Noah. You're listening to A Bite of,
where we take our current favorite pop culture obsession and enjoy it one nibble at a time.
Yum, 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 nibble, 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 Miss Marvel Episode 2. Yay! Yeah. Before we get into it, make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at A Bite of Pod. We have a website, we have a Discord, we have a Facebook group. We also have a Patreon. If you like the show, support us. You get exclusive things, videos, bonus episodes. You actually have control of what we cover. It's great. So do that.
Whoa, oh my gosh, they have control over what we cover. That is a big responsibility that they have.
Yeah, well, they love us a lot, so why not cover things they want to hear?
The Patricians.
Yeah, and then last but certainly not least, make sure you give us a little review. Give us those stars. Spotify, I believe you can give stars and reviews now, so go do that. We appreciate it, and we love you.
Very true.
I didn't want to do a segue. I just wanted to get it right out.
Well, we decided that last time that maybe it's time to not worry about segues, and I think it worked beautifully.
You're welcome.
All right, so let's take a look back at last week. So we had Ms. Marvel Episode 1, Generation Y. 16-year-old Kamala Khan is a Marvel Uber fan. She creates fan fiction animated videos and wants to go to AvengerCon.
Me too.
Who doesn't? With her best bud Bruno. At the con, she is planning to enter a Captain Marvel costume contest. But first, she must come up with her costume flourish, and then she has to convince her parents to let her go. A mysterious box arrives from her grandmother, and in it is a bangle that Kamala's mother quickly stores away in the attic.
Bangle.
Even after not getting permission to go to the con, Kamala sneaks out anyway and adds the family heirloom as her flourish. Once there, she puts the bangle on and a mysterious purple light flows through her. After a giant Ant-Man head rolls around Indiana Jones style, Nemesis Zoe is launched towards the heavens by an enormous Mjolnir. With her new purple powers, Kamala saves her, but is unfortunately late getting home. Sneaking into her room, her mom waits for her, but Kamala is too excited to care because guess what? She's got cosmic powers.
Yay. I love it.
Absolutely love it. It actually mixed up our top first episode lists that we had.
From the 7 MCU shows so far.
Yes. Yeah. I also do want to say something. I know I said purple power a lot. I still believe it's purple, even though in this episode, Bruno mentions that it's pink, the power.
I don't know. It's multicolored. It's iridescent.
It's a diamond? It's like some sort of gem.
It's cosmic.
Okay.
Whatever color that is. They don't know. They don't know.
No. All right. But let's issue, of course, a spoiler alert. We're about to talk about episode 2. So if you don't want to be spoiled, guys, just pause us, watch the episode, and come right back.
Yeah, we don't want to be a Zoe about it. Just watch it, come back. You should know. You clicked on this episode.
No one wants to be a Zoe.
For now.
Dun, dun, dun. Spoiler. Extra spoiler alert. All right, let us officially take a bite of Ms. Marvel Episode 2, Crush.
Yeah. I mean, this episode really crushed my emotions for multiple reasons.
Oh, brother.
It was good. Very coming of agey, very getting into her family stuff, very much representing the Muslim community.
Yes.
It was great.
I did appreciate that. I also sort of we're learning the lore of her family.
Oh, yeah.
What happened? Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I mean, hopefully we get more into her. I mean, we have to. I feel like that's going to be one of the bookends for this first season. Maybe, hopefully, another season or wherever she's going to the Marvels, and I don't think that. Who knows? Actually, I'm not even going to say. I'm not going to say her family's not going to play a part in it.
So in the comics, I'm wondering, do they go into her family of trying to figure out which one of her relatives has the Kree DNA and all that stuff?
No, it's just her family.
Yeah, so
She's passed down.
But I feel like they're going to be getting into it a little bit more in this because her powers are not like the comics. It's not like just a Terrigen thing.
Or is it? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not. There's no Medusa from the Inhumans to be like.
Or is there?
You're an Inhuman. Ta-da!
Yeah.
This one, it's Kamala's like, I'm trying to figure stuff out, which Muniba knows stuff, but I mean, I guess
She's keeping it under wraps.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. I did like the opening scene to this because I felt like it was a perfect symmetry to the one in episode 1 when Kamala like sheepishly makes her way through the halls of the school, and this one, she's having the time of her life going through the hallway.
I mean, when you secretly know that you have powers, none of this matters anymore, okay? And guess what? I'm going to correct you, teacher, about how to pronounce my name because enough is enough.
Yeah, microaggressions be damned, because...
Yeah, but also we learn that our girl Kamala is an ally, okay? Because those two that were in front of her locker, while she respects their love, she just doesn't want them blocking her locker.
Yeah, the AirPod lesbians don't need to be that close to each other. They can go further away.
The magic of the AirPod, as Kamala teaches us, is that you don't have to be standing right next to each other.
Also, go somewhere. Like, why do you have to be in front of her locker?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, maybe each of their lockers is on either side of her locker.
So move.
Well, still rude. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just trying to figure out why they're there every day.
Know this trope that they always do in these like coming of age
AirPod lesbians.
No, which exciting new trope. I'm here for it. But no, the standing in front of lockers, they do it every time there's like a high school in a movie or a TV show. I never stood in they wouldn't let you stand in the hallway like that. You know what? Did you?
In my school, like in the morning, so everybody had to stay in the cafeteria and then they would let everyone up at the same time.
Right.
You'd all get your books and like you had like 5 minutes before class started, you'd meet your friends at someone's locker and BS for a little bit and then you'd go back.
I always feel like I was running around. Like I never felt like I had time in between anything.
I do have a bully locker story if we have time for that.
Were they lesbians?
No.
Listening to Walkman?
He was
Walkman
a very
lesbians.
angry, who I believe was a straight cisgender boy.
Okay.
But it was so at my school, it was like freshmen started on Tuesday, then it went on, and then the following Monday, everyone came in together.
When it started, like school started?
Right. So it was like freshmen would be there by themselves Tuesday. Sophomores would be there by themselves.
Oh,
so
weird.
Just get like acclimated and get into your lockers and figure out your classes.
I guess that's nice.
On the day that we all came back together, so also at my school, there were top lockers and there were bottom lockers. And
okay,
so
right, yeah.
Freshmen and sophomores got the bottom lockers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like you got both. So you were like under someone. So this kid came out of a class and he goes, "Are you a freshman or a sophomore?" And I was like, "I'm a freshman." And he slammed my locker closed and he goes, "Welcome to Malloy." And then he walked away.
I would have been like, thanks.
I was like, why? Why? Why do I just look so bullyable? I don't understand. This is supposed to be my fresh start.
Welcome to hell.
Welcome to hell. Yeah, so locker stuff is real.
I mean, but at least they did move. Did they? Or did she just open the locker?
She just like kind of just like did the little like part ways.
Yeah.
Well, they were shooketh though.
Newfound powers, newfound confidence for Kamala.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
I would be too. I would be super confident if I got powers.
I'd just be lighting people up. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, I don't.
Push them out of the way with my purple powers.
Well, secret identity. You can't do that.
Well, they don't know it came from you. Oh no, who did that? I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know who did it.
Okay. I can't. So we also find out that Miss Zoe.
Don't point at me like that.
I'm pointing at Derek.
Every syllable he points at me.
Zoe got 1 million more followers, I guess, and dubbed Kamala her moniker as Nightlight, which is not creative. It's just like Night Monkey from Spider-Man. Remember when he put on the black suit when he was in Italy and they're like, it's Night Monkey, it's not Spider-Man, because they would know that Peter Parker went on a trip over there and it'd be like, oh, he's Spider-Man. Yeah, it's just as bad as that.
Yeah. No, I didn't appreciate it. And also, Zoe, listen, in life, we do not have to have the answers for everything. Okay?
She has
Say,
1 million followers.
I don't know. I don't know what her name was. Maybe we'll find out one day. Leave some more intrigue. I'll tell you in the next episode.
For who?
I don't know if she does episodes.
Oh, no. I just think she posts. I don't think it's not a show.
Zoe, how dare you?
But we find out, too, that Zoe is having a party because she is celebrating the fragility of life, i.e. also her getting 1 million followers.
I mean, when you get smashed with Thor's hammer, baby, really reshapes who you are, apparently.
I was waiting for the next part of that. 'Cause leaving it at that is probably not a good sentence
Well, I
to
feel
say.
like maybe it's this Thor Love and Thunder nonsense, but I've really been adding the innuendo to all Thor things recently. In the last episode, put the sword in my rainbow bridge.
Oh, you have been. Yeah, you're really... Thor's on your mind.
Thor was always on my mind. Put your sword in my rainbow bridge.
Did you catch Nakia calling Kamala budget Captain Marvel right to her face?
Rude. It was rude.
But Kamala didn't mind because Captain Marvel. She was called Captain
She said,
Marvel.
"Thank
so
you."
it's fine.
She said thank you.
Also, I did want to put out a PSA because we're learning here that it's not Nakia, which I
Which
just
you
said.
just said. I didn't want to correct you, but I'm glad you
Shut
got
up.
it.
It's Nakia,
Nakia.
which, I mean, either it could have, I've only read them in the comics. Nobody has told the
Right.
comics don't tell you. So I'm glad that we got to know that this is actually how you say the name, by the way.
Totally.
Everybody that's been pronouncing
I can't
it
believe
wrong.
we didn't notice it in the first episode, though.
I don't know if they even really said her name. If they did, it was very quick.
Well, I'm glad they finally did.
Yeah, and I didn't hear it. So on to the training montage, which we love a good training montage. I feel like on this podcast alone, we've talked a lot about training montages, mostly because every MCU show pretty much has a training montage.
I feel like I love a training montage because it shows someone who's just a regular Joe doing their best and then becoming something great. And isn't that what we all want? To become great?
I mean, origin story, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing push-ups. I could do 1 or 2 push-ups, right?
Yeah, but can you form hard light?
She's jogging. I can jog. Let me focus on the 2 that I can. Okay?
Well, we know she doesn't have super strength, which is good because
Right.
it shows that you don't have to have super strength to also be a superhero.
I did like that she tells Bruno that she tried to shrink, tried to fly, tried to talk to ants, and none of them worked.
And that's fine. That's reasonable. And also kind of stinks that she tried to shrink and she couldn't, which in the comics she can.
That's
So,
very true. Oh, I didn't even think of that.
yeah. R.I.P. Embiggen in the comics. But hopefully we'll get an Embiggen here.
Yeah, she just sort of does she does an embiggen, very heavy fist thing.
Yeah, she does it a few times in this episode, and I was actually really happy. I'm glad that we're seeing like maybe a glimpse of how she's going to use her powers to fight. I dig it.
Right now, it's all about the platforms, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cosmic platforms. Here they come.
Oh, yeah.
Bruno does figure out that her powers aren't from the bangle, which a lot of us were assuming, or obviously had to do with the bangle, but they just unlocked them. Her powers coming from within. So she already had the powers, but the bangle somehow unlocked them. In the comics, as we know, if you listen to her before you watch Ms. Marvel, I mean, even if you just wanted like some comic knowledge on her, you should just listen to it anyway. If you already started watching the show, just gonna say, just plugging her.
They're
own
like, quit
podcast.
pushing your episodes on us, Noah.
But in the comics, Kamala has the Inhuman gene, which we've already talked about so far in this episode. Could it occur in the TV show? I don't know. Is somehow in this bangle, is there Terrigen crystal or something? I think at this point, with the multiverse being a thing and they're kind of just surprising us with everything, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. It's a bangle that did it.
Yeah, if anything, it's very similar. It's like very similar to the thing of the Terrigen bomb creating this thing inside her. So the bangle has created something inside her or unleashed something inside her.
Awakened.
Awakened.
The light within.
Pulsated. Given her hard light abilities, as she has named them.
just like Green Lanterns.
He calls it hard light too?
It's literally called hard light constructs. And a funny line in this was, it's like an idea come to life, which is exactly how the Green Lanterns do theirs. It's from their imagination and stuff, like how Jordan was a pilot. That's why most of his constructs are like planes and jets and like military stuff.
I mean, if we think about it, a piece of jewelry is giving the hero a colored hard light.
So Marvel did Green Lanterns-ish before DC was really able to have a solo Green Lantern project. Aside from the Ryan Reynolds one, but we don't talk about that one. That doesn't exist.
So confusing.
Yeah. But I mean, it's cool. I think this is like comes with the territory with changing your powers, but it's kind of similar to another IP's and character's power.
Wait, now I'm confused. Green Lantern is who? Marvel or DC?
DC.
Right, okay. But you said that Marvel did a type of Green Lantern before Green Lantern?
Yeah, there's no solo Green Lantern project right now.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. They're doing it with Kamala.
Yeah.
I thought you meant that in the comics they had, like, in the 60s and 70s they did something.
No, Green Lantern's been around longer than Kamala.
Got it.
We're all up to speed now.
I thought you were doing one of those Noah encyclopedic things where you're talking about something that I have no idea what you're talking about.
No.
Okay.
Just comparing and like taking a dig at DC.
Got it.
I over-explained
Got
it. It's fine.
Roasted.
In this training montage, did you catch the Black Widow and Hawkeye callback when she was like hanging off the cliff and he was holding on to her and she's like, "You have to let me go." Rude.
At first, I was offended. But then at second, I was not, because they don't really know what happened. So that was really just rude to us, but to them, they don't know that that situation happened.
No, but the rioters did, and they did.
Well, right. So I'm not mad at Kamala and
Oh,
Bruno.
no, I'm mad at them.
Yeah.
Not really mad, just like, okay, I don't want to
We're
keep
still
reliving
salty.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to. We finally got a tribute to her in the first episode of Ms. Marvel. Why not just show how she died again?
They're just going to keep... And we kind of get another Black Widow thing in this when she lands on the roof of the mosque.
Oh, she does a superhero pose. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one that Yelena hates.
Yes. She readily read her sister for that.
Yeah. I'm excited for her powers. It's not so much for me like what she can do, but more of the exploration of like where they come from and like her being a superhero. That's what I'm more excited about. Like,
Yeah.
I liked the montage to see kind of maybe like how her powers are going to work, but I'm like wanting to just get to that. You know what I mean? I want to know. Give it to me.
Yeah, I'm really curious about the origin of her powers and what the lineage of her family is. I think in this episode, we have that whole thing of her exploring the powers and kind of getting a hold of them and, you know, maybe feeling out what she can really do. But now hopefully going forward, that'll be more solidified and we're just looking back to see how it all started.
Oh, yeah. You saw that car she got picked up at the end. Something's going to happen.
It had neon lights inside the car.
Yeah. You know that's expensive when it does that.
And I don't know. You know what I'm going to try? This happens all the time in movies. Someone pulls up and then the passenger door opens. But then when the door opens, they're sitting upright. Still.
It's just a quick lean push.
I don't know. I don't think I could do that. For me, it's more of like stretching.
Well, you also have a bigger car. You have like a mid-size
I didn't know where
SUV.
that was going.
Where did you think it was going?
No. I thought it was going to be like, well, you also aren't that agile, so...
Why would I say that?
I don't know. I'm insecure.
You said it.
Now you thought it.
No.
Nice.
Well, you just said you couldn't do it, so I don't know who's saying what, but I think you're saying that you can't do it.
I mean, I've never tried. All right.
Do it. Go do it.
That's the next Patreon episode, is us trying to do the passenger door opening.
Let's do
sequence.
all the ridiculous superhero things, superhero poses, opening car doors like that.
We live in a ranch. We could easily jump off the roof and try and land in a pose.
Give us
And
money
then
to
he
watch us hurt
died.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So on to the scenes that start actually showing us properly the Muslim communities, specifically in Jersey City, in our story with Kamala. So after testing out her powers, Kamala realizes that she and Nakia are late for prayers. At the mosque, we see the girls practice wudu. the washing of their faces, hands, arms, and feet before Islamic prayer, which we don't really see. I don't think I've ever seen outside of Rami, the Hulu show, which is I highly recommend. Very good. I don't think I've ever seen that really, at least in mainstream media. So right out the gate for as far as Muslim representation, it's showing this is what you do before you go in there to do the prayer.
Yeah. And I think it's, again, I think I said this in our last episode, but it's sort of showing the traditions that she follows. But then at the same time, when she's inside the mosque during prayer, she's again questioning
Oh, yeah.
the things that they do.
Yeah.
So it's that interesting sort of dichotomy within her of the things that she still does and follows, but at the same time, she's young, she's a teenager, and she's questioning, why do we do some of these things?
Which I think is fair, especially for a modern Muslim woman practicing. And in this particular scene, they comment on how the audio sucks, how there's like mold under the carpet and the walls are literally crumbling. But the men's section is
Right.
pristine, and there's also a partition in between that. The men and the women have different entrances to protect modesty and purity and all that. In the comics, the scene plays out. That not so much is commented on, but they do comment on the partition. She's like, oh, I couldn't really hear you because of this partition that's here. Why can't we be with them? I mean, we're hearing the same things, but they just don't want the two sexes intermingling.
I did like in this episode, in this moment, that when she's talking to him, we see him through the partition itself.
Right.
To show what her view is like.
Yeah. This is cool. I like the way this scene was shot a lot. I loved when it went to Nakia and Kamala, and it did the same thing in reverse, where it showed them through the partition. It was really cool. I like that a lot. To help make it better for women in the mosque, Kamala suggests that Nakia runs for the mosque board, which she questions, do I look like a 90-year-old man? But I think it goes just in line with Nakia's comic book counterpart. She's very much that. I will say in the comic, she's more about like the systemic problems that come from like the rich elite. That's usually her focus. But in this, it seems like they're not so much going to do the storylines with gentrification and stuff like that, but more how can they make their communities better with knowing how it could be better.
Vote for Nakia, man.
Yeah. And also her shoes get stolen. This is
Not her new Valentinos.
her 22nd, not hers, but the mosque's 22nd pair of shoes that were stolen.
It seems that there's a shoe thief afoot. Yes.
Oh,
Get it?
I got it.
Shoe, foot.
Do you like parties?
Yes.
Let's talk about a party.
Zoe's party.
Yeah. I did like the scene where Kamala apologizes to her mom for sneaking out to AvengerCon. And she also uses the opportunity to ask to go to Zoe's party. But it's a nice moment of reconciliation and them kind of showing the multi-layers of their relationship a little bit. She has to be back by curfew.
Yeah, I thought it was a great scene because we could have had Muniba being mad at her still.
Right.
Right.
Which is like,
but she still trusts her daughter enough. She made a mistake. Nothing bad happened. And she says to her, I need you to stay safe. That's all that matters.
Right.
And so she lets her go. And also, I think there is the past that we learned about in the first episode where Nakia, Kamala, and Zoe were actually close friends at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they've since drifted apart. So Muniba knows this person. She knows this house. And she's comfortable letting Kamala go there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, influencer turned rival.
Influencer.
I mean, you get those fake friends, and why do you need real friends?
It's the likes that count. It's not the heart of the people around you. It's the hearts on your screen.
Yeah.
Mwah, mwah, this is America.
So Kamala, Nakia, Miguel, and Bruno,
Who's Miguel?
I don't know, arrive at the party. Kamala is wearing her signature hat from the comics, which is so cool to see.
Let's go trapper hat.
Is that what it's called?
Yes, I looked it up.
There's no way.
Yeah, it's because it's really a trapper, like a hunter and a trapper. That's who would traditionally wear a hat like that. But now it's about fashion, baby.
Oh.
Yeah. And so when she showed up in the hat, I literally went, the hat! It was a very exciting moment.
Very nice. I didn't know that was the name of it. Also, the dweeb who tricks Kamala into drinking vodka deserves to be punched in the dick.
Wiener punch.
Yeah.
That actually happened in the comic in the first issue.
Yeah, it's a direct callback to it. I mean, this is so AvengerCon. Just think in the origin of it, it's she goes to this party and then she gets Terrigen Mist, blah blah blah. So
Right.
they kind of did do that part of the origin here. Same thing happens to her where she gets tricked into drinking alcohol, which is real fucked up, and it just shows like that. How do you say this word in this form? Ostracization.
Ostracization?
Right? Is that how you say it?
Ostrich Nation.
See, I had it in my head and I'm like, how do I say it?
Ostrich Nation.
But it's like her classmates, how, it's
She's been ostracized.
exactly. And they play into that. And this might sound bad. I'm glad they showed it. I'm not glad it happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I also think that there is a piece of Kamala that's just more innocent than those around her, and
Well,
they take advantage of that as well.
How long did it take for her to correct the coach for calling her,
Right.
It's like those things where it's like they feel like they can't really correct, or it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's fine, they're going to do what they want, but it's,
It's not.
It's not, and you shouldn't let them do what they want. But yeah, it seems like the show is tipping and is kind of addressing the Islamophobia and the racism that Kamala and Nakia face from their peers, which is a big part in the comics. So I'm glad that they did keep that here.
Why?
Kamran.
Why?
Why?
What you're going to talk about? Why?
Why what?
Why?
Okay. So
Why?
Kamran's shirtless emergence from a pool becomes the defining coming of age moment that we needed in the show.
I'm not even talking about that. Why
I know.
did he jump off the roof?
I tried to make it more eloquent and more heartstopper than what is actually
Look,
happened.
I'm all for the adorable moment of him appearing from the pool like a god and her falling for him. Why couldn't he? Is that showing that maybe he has some sort of power or something like
He
that?
100% has powers.
Right? Like,
He should.
That was very high.
Yeah. I mean, he should have powers. I don't know if he's
wink.
going to have powers, but it seems like he should have powers.
Okay, so listen.
I don't know if they're jumping from... No. He's not. He can't be Red Dagger. Those are two separate characters. No.
Well, Red Dagger on IMDb is someone else.
Oh, okay, cool. Yay. Well, Red Dagger is really good at jumping, so that's why I was like, wait, no, they didn't mix the two characters, did they? No, they couldn't have.
They couldn't. But, I mean, maybe he does. I don't know. Well, I mean, is Kamran in the comics?
Yeah.
Oh.
You haven't gotten to him yet.
I haven't, and I'm asking. But also, spoilers, everyone.
Yeah. I mean, so that's why I told you, I was like, oh, if you don't get to it, it's going to be hard not to talk about him.
It does feel like, and of course they do this, but it feels like they've kind of cut up all of the issues and they're pacing them back together in a made-for-TV order.
Oh, the actual comic book issues. Yeah.
It's like you said, like the thing at the party really happens in the first issue, but they put it here. It's like, so they're taking these bits and pieces and they're decoupaging them together on a TV storyboard.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure who the villain was going to be, because it did seem very much like they were somehow going to mix the Civil War II kind of task force that was put together that like hunted down enhanced humans, which... hello, it's there. Mm-hmm. So it is interesting. So it's like if you read the comics or you have some familiarity with them, you kind of see where it's going. But it is interesting to see how they piece those together to make one coherent storyline.
Right.
That's why with him, especially Kamran, with the Inhuman stuff taken out, how they're doing all this stuff is what I'm super excited to see. How? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to see how all that plays out.
Yeah.
And who the woman in the car is.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, but continue with the fall in love moment at the party.
That was it. It was just a defining coming of age moment I had to point out.
Complete
with fire emojis and stuff.
I still love all the emoji stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that the main point of this party was just for this moment between the two of them, because
100%.
shortly after it's like, cops, run.
But then we also get a bonding moment with them in his neon car.
It's his uncle's car.
Yeah.
Nakia says that, which is interesting. Who's his uncle?
Oh. I didn't catch that. I thought it was his car.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he got money.
Or either Nakia or maybe it is Kamala.
Miguel?
The mysterious. That's who we should all really be worried about. Who is the mysterious Miguel and what's in that backpack?
I don't think he's from the comics. He could be. Probably not. I don't know.
He wasn't in the first episode, right? Like he didn't do anything. Yeah, I don't know. They just like randomly introduced him.
Maybe he was there.
And it's like funny though that they put him in the car and yet he still said nothing except goodbye.
Well, they showed up to the party and I was like, who's that? Who's talking to them? And then they said Miguel at some point, but not in that scene. And I was like, oh, hi.
Yeah. Kamran said, bye, Miguel. Yeah. We were like,
Kamran knew
Miguel.
who he was. Yeah. We didn't know who he was.
No idea.
But Kamala bonds with Kamran over their shared Desi backgrounds and experiences, Bollywood, music taste, and poor backseat Bruno is watching this
Backseat Bruno.
as his love is currently swooning over somebody else. But we have our love triangle people. We got Bruno, Kamala, and Kamran.
Every good show needs a love triangle.
Every coming of age, YA type thing, every single one has a love triangle.
Moon Knight had a love triangle as far as I'm concerned.
Who, Conchu, Mark, and oh no, I see what you no, Stephen, Mark, and Layla. And Conchu.
Ooh, a rectangle of love.
Conchu liked him too.
Conchu? No, Conchu had ulterior motives. You can't trust him.
Got that Jake Lockley.
Oh,
but are you team Kamran or team Bruno?
Bruno. Give me a break.
Yeah.
That was like in the Hunger Games. I was team Gale.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't.
Because he knew her from the beginning. They grew up together.
In the books, I was team Gale. In the movies, I was PETA.
Oh, well.
I did not like how they did Gale in the movies.
Well, right. I'm talking about the books. I mean, in the movies... exactly.
Doesn't matter that you're
Gale
Hemsworth.
wasn't even there.
What do you mean?
I feel like you rarely saw Gale in the movies.
That's why it's to me. Oh no, actually, I can't even use this analogy of Ginny and Harry and the Harry Potter things because in the movies and the books, doesn't make any sense. They just all of a sudden were like, "I love you, let's get married."
She just like had a plan that she wanted him to marry a Weasley and didn't do any of the work to make it realistic.
There was like 2 books of him pining over Cho, but nothing with Ginny.
I know.
So stupid.
It's the years in between the last one and Cursed Child where they really fell in love, but
after they were married.
See any of that, right?
After they got married, the 19 years later,
just trauma, bro.
Took 19 years for Ginny and Harry to finally come to terms.
Finally, long enough.
I'm team neither. I mean, I like Kamran right now.
You set me up in a trap.
I didn't. I'm going to say team
Kamran.
Kamran.
Who do you like better? Well, I like them both equally, so sorry.
Well, I just said team Kamran, so...
Well, you didn't start off that way. Why are you team Kamran, this new rando?
Oh.
I don't trust him. He's too slick with his British accent.
It's like he's almost too perfect for Kamala.
Showed up out of nowheres.
I don't know. I like a complicated love story. Make it complicated.
In the words of Avril Lavigne, why'd you have to go and make a thing so complicated?
Kamran offers
right
to
over
give
it. Doesn't
Kamala
even acknowledge
driving lessons, which I guess is okay.
Your girl got the digits, people.
Is it a unique date? Yes. Is it safe? Probably not, because we just saw that she wrecked the other guy's car. So,
well, I mean,
Kamala has an amazing solo swoon dance to the Ronettes' Be My Baby. And man, oh man, did I love this scene. It was so relatable, so cute, and just good. It was a nice little break.
That's the fun thing about Ms. Marvel is that they're doing all these really great things. They're doing this little musical moment. They're doing the emojis. They're doing the neon signs. It makes it fun.
Pink, purple, hazy moment.
Yeah, it made me want to dance to that song. I love that song. I was upset when they stopped it when she spoke to her parents. I was like, no, I just want to vibe with Be My Baby.
I mean, there's a reason why, again, these like YA type things specifically when like first love or feeling those feelings so big as opposed to like adults. You know what I mean? That's why it draws people in so much, because it's just seeing how exciting all of that can be. I don't know. I love those moments. That's why coming of age stuff is so much fun.
Well, I think for many people we can relate to that feeling. And it's that feeling of the unknown. It's that feeling of feeling so excited and so intrigued about this person and wondering, do they like me? What does it mean? They did this, they did that, they brushed up against me. Oh, it's all so exciting and there's so much adrenaline, but it's also soul crushing and very scary and you never know how it's going to turn out. Yeah,
but especially when you're that age, it's your entire world when everything revolves around that.
Totally. I'll admit, I was thinking about this while that scene was playing and I looked over at you and I was like, oh man, I am so happy that part is done. You know, when
how sweet.
You're just so scared. Do they like me? Do they not like me?
That
Is it
part.
going to work out? Yeah. I looked at you and I was like, oh, good. We're done. We did it. We found each other. We know we like each other. It's a beautiful thing. It's so scary, the first part.
It's so scary. I did again, so I'm always on the lookout now. We've had 2 episodes as if it's happened forever. But when their text messages appear on the design of her bedsheet, and then she imagines a hand-drawn constellation of them dancing. Again, just these 2 scenes, or this extended scene back to back was, I don't know. It's good. It's what's making Miss Marvel unique to the MCU. Not necessarily unique in that style, because we've gotten a few things like that, Heartstopper and Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
But it's unique to the MCU, which is fun. Is this going to happen whenever it's not her show? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're getting it now.
Yeah, I think we all need a little bit of art surrounding us in our lives.
Aww.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like little leaves floating in.
Hang the pictures.
Oh, literally? Yeah, don't look at our bare walls.
As he says that, I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be nice, but we have nothing on the walls except for a macrame shelf. With trinkets on it.
That is
crystals.
True. We also still have a hole in the ceiling of our living room because we've yet to get a light fixture that we like.
Hush, we don't talk about that.
There's just holes all over this house.
Apparently, when
we fixed the holes in the bathroom. Is anyone else excited? I'm
just
excited.
tell them all about our holes.
I'm leaving that. That was inappropriate.
In the house.
The children did not like that.
So apparently, I'm going to try again. When Kamala daydreams too hard, her cosmic powers start to show, and she becomes a cosmic Rudolph.
Yes, a little crystal nose. It was gorgeous.
To me, it almost was like puberty. You know what I mean? It's like a big zit on the nose.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's how it's. Did you ever have that feeling in high school when you were sitting in class and you realized you had a zit on your nose or somewhere, so you start to pick it while you're in class?
No.
You've never done that?
Well, not pick it in class.
Oh, yeah, because you're not really paying attention. Like, ew. And then you're like, oh, no, what did I do? And is there blood? And now I have to run, and now is my face bleeding? And everyone can see.
I was the type of kid that would put Band-Aids over the really bad ones. Just so that way, 1, I didn't do that, and 2, nobody could see it. And they're like, what happened to you? I was like, I fell. It's my excuse every other week. I fell. And nobody decided to do like a welfare check.
Well, I was just thinking that. Did they not check on your family, question your mother or something?
No.
Yeah.
I was also in a lot of sports and marching band and extracurricular activities, so they're probably just like, whatever.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Now, I had some bad acne probably in my sophomore or junior year of high school, and I really didn't care, which was hilarious. But then my mom cared.
Oh, yeah, my mom cared more than I did.
Yeah.
If I happened to have like a tank top or my shirt off or whatever, and she'd see like a big back acne, she's like, oh, let me get that. As she was trying to pop it. And I'm like, that's not okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like, stop.
I have very vivid memories of my mother making my brother heat a needle up on the stove
good.
so she could pick at his pimples.
What's with this? Hey, moms listening to us, if there's any moms. Do you do that? Why do you do that? Comment below. Why do you like popping pimples?
I was... This is a tangent. We're going on a tangent. I'm listening to the Midnight Library. Noah listened to it first.
Oh,
and
so good. We have to do a plot twist on that.
Oh my God. Yes.
Become a Patreon member and you can listen to that.
Ha! And in it, she talks about her mother being worried that one of her ears stuck out more than the other.
Oh, yeah.
So she like would put a hat on her. And it's just like so funny how parents could like focus on the physical characteristics of their children and like freak out about them.
You know, as an artist,
Oh,
a digital art, not even, as somebody that does graphic design, the only thing that I can explain to that is when you create something and then you see it after it's out in the world and you're like, oh, that's off. How do I fix it?
oh my God, that's horrible.
No, but I mean,
Like, listen, acne, I understand, right? Because if acne gets too bad, it's hard to control. It could leave scarring. Like, that I get.
Right.
But, like, if someone's ears stick out a little too much, well, oh well.
you get the, oh, my little sister had that surgery
She
to get
did.
him back. Yeah.
Why?
Her ears, well, her ears were, they were out. Yeah.
Yeah.
She did need it, but they're, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a parent. I don't know. I'm not a parent. But I'm a
Hey,
child.
I asked comment below. See what they say.
Yeah, comment below. Parents, let us know. Like, what's up? Tell me. Okay.
I feel like it's a back to the episode. I
Oh,
guess
sure.
we have
Sorry.
to get. We
This
have
isn't.
to.
Or is this not like on the couch with Derek and Noah, a therapy session?
Nobody wants that.
Don't be too heavy.
Yeah.
And we're crying.
I feel like this nose thing, not only, whatever, she was daydreaming and it happened, but it's almost like their version of in the comics with like her polymorphic abilities being like really awkward and not being able to control them. And, her arm got really big at one point when,
Right.
So I feel like they're just trying to.
Hormone surges.
Exactly. They're just trying to do that. So her nose glows. And of course, they're showing something in class where like the lights are kind of out. So she has to run to the bathroom. And this is one of my favorite scenes in the series so far. So Nakia goes and checks on Kamala and offers her tampon saying, pads, I know your mom gets weird about tampons, but I also have pads, which was also an interesting conversation for them to have. But it goes further and talks about why Nakia wears the hijab. So often in pop culture and in the news and remarks by politicians, the hijab is poised as a tool of oppression for women, or it is seen as something Muslim women will tear off at the first sight of a white boy interested in them. That's usually how like pop culture and the news tends to show it. So to hear Nakia talking about her journey with the hijab and how it's something just for her is pretty extraordinary. It's not something that is really talked about. A lot of people are mentioning Netflix is kind of shies away from showing Muslim representation and stuff like that. Or like if a character canonly has a hijab or something, they'll not let them have a hijab in the show or whatever. So a lot of people are like telling Netflix and other things like, look at Disney can do it. You can do it. Like, don't shy away from that. But yeah, so to hear her talk openly about that and why she does it is pretty cool. And it's, she says that she does it for herself. At first she thought it would just to shut people up, but it gives her a purpose. So it was really sweet for them to have that moment.
Agreed. And I think we're getting to know Nakia a little more here.
Finally.
And right.
2 episodes in, but still.
Finally, jeez. Took 60 minutes. But we also hear her say, I wasn't enough of this for some people. I was not enough of that for other people. It just
too
feels
ethnic,
like,
too white.
Right. She just has never been able to fit in no matter which way she tries to turn.
Right.
So at some point you just have to take hold of who you are and know that you're doing it for you.
Right.
And then this is when she tells Kamala that she's also running for the mosque board.
Yeah. She's like, by the way, yeah, I'm going to do it.
You were right. I'm awesome.
Yeah. And of course this doesn't need to be said, but whatever. But I like that it like emphasizes that women who wear hijabs are individual and not, you can't just collectively associate them with whatever your agenda is.
Sure.
So I thought that scene was really powerful, even though they took time to do it and they really like, I don't want to say chewed the scene, but really sat with the scene to point that out.
Yeah, and I like that this didn't turn into something, and maybe we'll get this later on, of like, what are you hiding from me? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. It was really more of a moment for them to talk as friends because they are best friends. And
yeah, she went to go help her, she offered her a pad and tampon and stuff. So she was there for her in that way. And then she's also being open with her. But I do feel like that's going to bite Kamala in the butt just a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Nakia's being very open with her.
Right.
And this does bug me just a little bit. And I think we talked about it semi-recently with the whole like secret identity thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not telling her?
Right.
She's your best friend.
Yeah. And also, though, on the other side of that, Bruno knows.
Right. So then she's going to be the last to know.
Right. Exactly.
Boo.
It's going to not be good.
Yeah. And then same exact situation happens in the comics. But when their whole friend group finds out, it's more of a, yeah, we knew situation. So hopefully that does happen in this one. Fingers crossed.
We'll see what Miguel thinks.
Yeah. Fucking God. Who is
Best
Miguel?
friend Miguel.
Yeah. We have to talk about Mr. Wilson again because he does show another appearance in this episode. And I'm here for the Wilson counseling sessions.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
Bruno, we did get a glimpse in the first episode of Bruno applying for Caltech. And, you know, it's a more prestigious, it's very much in technology. It's like genius level
And
stuff.
it's an early immersion program. So he's not even
Exactly.
done with high school yet, and he'll be going there for a semester.
Exactly. But it seems like he has second thoughts, especially when Wilson's like, it's all paid for. You don't have to do anything. You're going. And he's like, oh, I don't know. But I feel like it has to do with Kamran and Kamala. Because ever since he saw that connection, he's been a little, not clingy, but like trying to butt in a lot. And I feel like if he leaves, it's going to blossom and he's going to be left behind.
Yeah, I definitely do think it has to do with Kamala. Even the fact that he's so involved with her and her now new mysterious powers.
Right.
What does it mean to leave that? And I also think there's a protective side of him. He doesn't want her to get hurt, and he's afraid that if he leaves, there will be no one there to take care of her or watch over her.
I'll have to find the exact issue, but in the comics, I've mentioned in the comics a lot in this episode. Oh, well, we're talking about comic property. I feel weird saying it. I'm not trying to be like in the comics, but it does show like them first meeting, like how Bruno and Kamala like in kindergarten first meet and how they became friends. It is so sweet. I love it. I'll find it and then I'll post it somewhere or just look for it.
Share it.
Because you can read those couple of pages without reading the entire thing just to see how sweet that is. It's really nice. I liked it. They're best friends. That's why it gets so sticky when one of them falls in love with the other one. Oh no.
Love can blossom in any situation.
Did you catch Mr. Wilson's very much on the nose references to Star Wars and The Devil Wears Prada?
Absolutely, I did. Absolutely, I did. He's a pop culture queen, baby. And I also love this like chunky sweater he's wearing. He's like fully leaning into the counselor role. Like, look at me. I'm cool. I'm casual. I have a cat hang in there poster.
He does.
You can trust me, students.
Hopefully.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure.
you think he's evil?
No, I feel he's going to be fine. I just don't trust anybody until I see the whole series through.
Until the final mid-credits scene. I don't trust anyone.
Bruno clearly wants to talk to Kamala, and this was also kind of a little upsetting. He goes and finds her, and he's like, oh, you know, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. I really need to talk to you. And she's like, no, I have a date or a joyride with Kamran. So bye-bye. But we get
in your face, Bruno.
we get more Kamala and Kamran. It's very hard to say their names together, by the way. It's very similar in the way it starts.
I mean, they got to fall in love. They've both got the K names, baby.
Yeah. But their shared interest, of course, is a little too close. I feel like he just has every single shared interest that she does.
Yeah, I agree.
But did you catch the Kingo reference from Eternals?
I sure did.
Kingo Sr.?
And they were like, ew.
Which is hilarious because Kingo plays a younger version of himself as the son of himself, the actor, because he doesn't age. So they're funny. They're funny. Just take off the mustache and it's the Kingo you're talking about.
Either way, gross.
Yeah, but Eternals is alive and well. Marvel is not pretending it didn't happen, no matter how many people want to say it was a terrible movie. I like that movie.
I thought it was fun. It was very super team, very sort of Captain Planet, Sailor Moony. They all had color outfits and they all had separate powers. That was fun. I mean, why haven't we acknowledged the giant being that turned to marble in the middle of an ocean somewhere? I don't know. But they rarely reference each other.
That was our review of Eternals because we didn't do one.
We didn't?
No.
Oh.
We were busy. Sorry, guys.
We were busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think this is a good moment to answer your questions that you sent in.
Fine.
Because we're about to get to the end of the episode, but we got to, answer
Well, that's
your
right.
questions.
That means it's time for another edition of What Are You Serving?
Questions.
Questions. All right.
All right. So we got a few here,
Ooh.
and these are interesting. So they're very thought provoking.
Oh my God.
No, they're not. No, I'm
I
just
don't
kidding.
know
No,
if
they
I'm
are.
ready for my thought to be provoked.
Okay, this one is from JC Mellon on Twitter. What odds will you give me that 1, Kamala's Nani, new Kingo, and 2, the Bengal is eternal tech, and or 3, Kamala is half eternal?
Whoa.
That blew my mind because I didn't even think about it.
No.
Because
I love that theory.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the question.
All right.
They can't procreate. So,
What if
wait, yeah, no, they can't procreate.
well that I know Sprite can't age.
Right,
They can't age or procreate.
right.
Maybe one exploded like a supernova and a little piece of him landed right in an eyeball of someone, and there you go.
They're not mushrooms with
How do
spores.
you know?
Because we see all them die in the
Selma
movie.
Hayek, she can go to another dimension in her own head and talk to some other giant being. Why can't they explode and give other people powers?
I guess. I do want to say, though, that line of thinking was really interesting. I do think you might maybe onto something with the Eternal tech. I don't know. It's just this show has to connect to the greater MCU. It just does. There has to be a reason for it. The Bengal being the glaring thing of where did this come from? So far, that's really the only thing I can think of right now that would make sense with what's in the MCU so far. You know?
Yeah, I mean, or is it okay? So at some point, Ms. Marvel has to connect to Captain Marvel. Is it possible that the bangle is actually a gift from the Kree?
Could be Kree tech.
Right?
Kree-tech.
But I think that's a good line of thinking, tech, because something that looks old can actually be from an advanced being.
Aliens.
Right.
Cool.
I like
Good
that a
question.
lot.
Yeah. This next one is from Wubbies23.
Whoopies.
Is it too early to want Kamala Khan and Yelena Belova on screen together? No.
It's never too early for that.
Never too early for both of them. I will say this. The three characters that I love so much in the MCU is Kate Bishop, Yelena, and Kamala. If those three somehow get on the same screen, which, did you catch that in the credits there's a makeup artist for Miss Steinfeld?
Ooh.
So
good
if
looking out.
Kate shows up in this show, I'm going to flip.
Oh, it's going to be right at the end because she's recruiting. She's recruiting for the Young Avengers.
Well, there you go. It's happening, guys. No, it's not too early to answer your question.
I mean, Yelena should be there already.
Yeah. Well,
In my mind, she should just be there.
so Thunderbolts just got announced. She's more likely to go there, but that doesn't mean they're bad. This is like bad people wanting to do good.
I can't anymore.
It's not the Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad, they were forced to do good. These are villains that want to do good.
I'm just so my brain can't handle anything. We got the Thunderbolts coming out. There was a Wonder Man thing
Vision's
just
brother,
announced.
yes.
Vision's brother. Oh my gosh, we're not even out of Phase 4 yet, people.
So?
It just keeps going
Yeah.
forever and ever and ever.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
My thousands of comics, it's okay. Give
Keep
me
'em
more.
coming.
Yeah. All right. So this one is from @there's a fire spelled FYRE. What song would you have a dance sequence to after talking with your crush?
Whoa.
That's fun. My Dude by Litany.
Oh, that's a fun one.
I like that one.
I would do...
Listen to it. It's great.
It is really great. I sent Noah subliminal messages on Instagram with that song.
What?
My dude.
Oh, yeah, you did. I'm like, I get it. God, you like me.
It worked. Mine would be... Okay, I want to go 80s classic. I want to dance with somebody.
Like a Oh.
By Whitney Houston.
That's sweet. Oh, that would be a good dancing one, too.
Right? And I feel like there could be like a vision of the other person that you want to dance with. And I also like when she goes, I want to feel the heat. Heat with somebody. Yes.
Yeah, you could dance to mine. It's more mellow. It's definitely more of a sway song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah. I like it.
I think that really perfectly encapsulates both of our personalities.
Yeah. It really does. A little more mellow.
Yeah. And I'm a high energy dance number. 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right. So this last one is from @ant_Cleveland. This one's the question is long, but just bear with me.
Okay.
Do you think they're still going down the Inhuman route? I agree with the idea that it was a nega bands. Thank you. But the latest episode made it that the band/Bangles unlocked her powers, maybe like a version of Pterogenesis. Mostly, do you think that they're going to use the word inhuman? No. I don't think they will because... I don't know, but then again, how did Monica get powers? I mean, I know she went through the force field, but why did she get powers?
Right.
You know what I mean? So...
it's sort of that thing, though, right? Don't they, in the MCU, not refer to as mutants?
No. Well, so there's This is stupid. It's dumb. There's mutants.
Right.
Somewhere. But there's enhanced individuals, meaning they got powers somehow, but weren't necessarily born with them, or they could have been, but they don't have the X gene.
Which they're not acknowledging. Actually, I guess they sort of did in Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
Because Professor X was there.
Right.
But, so my thinking is more logical in the sense of like the MCU proper of being like, well, we already did the Inhumans, but we're not necessarily...
Yeah, they're distancing themselves from that.
So we're not going to say it because we want to distance ourselves from it.
But then they brought Black Bolt into Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, but he blammed his brain, so...
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't think so. Maybe.
He's on the fence, people.
I'm on the fence. I think with how we've found out things, or they've introduced things, or we thought they were going one way, and then we got Ralph Boner the other way. It really could be anything. And I think what's interesting about this is, yes, there's one creative decision between all this, but as you see with like these writers of these TV shows, they're really putting their own stamp on some of the stuff or interpreting the comics. I don't know.
Yeah, because in a sense, it's like if they're going to do the Inhuman thing, why not just do the original story of the Terrigen bomb?
Right, exactly. But the only reason why maybe they don't want to do that is so that way there's not a bunch of Inhumans running around. I don't know. And then
they're everywhere.
Then they'll have to explain it in the greater MCU. I don't know.
The greater MCU.
Also, did Kamala get snapped? She get blipped? Who in her family got blipped?
Didn't someone say blippies in this episode?
Zoe said blippies. She said, hi, blippies.
Is that what the kids call people who are blipped? Blippies?
Maybe?
The blorps? The blorpians.
All right. Well, thank you guys for your questions and thoughts. Look out next week for the other one if you want to be your question talked about. Oh my God, I feel like this is the first time I'm doing this. It's hot in this room again.
Thanks for participating in What Are You Serving?
Yeah, thanks.
Cow. Look out for the prompt next week, baby. Yeah.
Thank you. He's just watching me struggle and he's like, okay, he stopped. Now I can do it.
Let's simplify it. Woo!
Yeah. All right. So when Amir brings his fiance, Taisha, to dinner, casual inquiries about Muniba's family history leads to a toenail shift in mood.
Nail shift.
This is why we did the questions before this, because some subjects get a little heavy after this. We wanted to ease you into it. Muniba leaves the table and stands in the outskirts of the scene, partially in the darkness, radiating how uncomfortable she is with this conversation. She is very standoffish when it comes to her family. We will eventually see why, but right now it's just very closed off. Yusuf shares what little he does know between a magical childhood incident involving Muniba's mother Sana, the disappearance of Sana's mother Aisha, during the violent partition of India and Pakistan in 1947.
Right.
So this is interesting. So I've heard about the partition before, but not really. We didn't really get taught it in school at all, because you know what else was happening around those times? Other wars and stuff like that. So of course we didn't get.
But I think that's actually, it's funny that you said that, because Nakia early in the episode says something to the effect of, we have to learn about this stuff for days and days, but the Byzantine Empire gets squashed into 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're proving exactly what she said.
On the nose.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that it's true. I do feel like our textbooks need to be revamped just a little bit to show more of what actually happened in history and not a white view of
Well, I even think
it.
some textbooks in certain parts of the country need to be updated just to catch up to the other ones that are old, that all then need to be
last
updated.
revised 1970.
Oof. When Noah told me about some of the things that they covered in his Texas history classes and social study classes, it was just like, wait, what? Huh?
Yeah, anybody that's listening to us that went to high school in Texas, you took that Texas government and history class, right? For an entire year
wild.
of high school, we learned just about Texas. About the Mexican side? No. The Texas side and how they took it.
They're like,
That's
it's a
what we
big
learned.
white state.
Yeah.
You need to learn about it.
Yeah.
I'm saying that facetiously, everyone.
I did like that they were talking about this particular thing because it does, again, go back to the comics. The story in the comics depicts Muniba's family migrating to Karachi from Mumbai, then Bombay. But while this was originally just a background detail, here it becomes the fight, like foundational, central dramatic tension of where her powers came from, her family, and everything like that. It was more in the comics to show kind of like the history of the Bengal, how it came to be. In this, it's definitely more of a part.
Oh, absolutely.
It is. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about the partition. So I kind of looked up why we don't know about the partition. So the partition is still in living memory, and Muslims, Hindus, and Sikhs still carry the inherited trauma from being ousted from their homes and having friends turn to enemies in an instant. For decades, stories about the partition have been really difficult to come across because there was a silence caused by trauma. And just like Yusuf says, history is written by the oppressors. So it's only in recent years that people have started to share what they saw and heard and went through. Unfortunately, it's almost a little too late because, age and health does come for us all. This happened in the 40s. So unfortunately, some of that stuff is being lost, but at least now we're starting in mainstream having that conversation.
And it seems that what you had mentioned of the sort of oppression and people hiding this history, and it's kind of continued, and we see it here in Muniba's life.
Yes. Yeah. She doesn't want to talk about it.
Right.
She's silent, and she doesn't want to talk about it for multiple reasons, probably. There's her great-grandmother brought shame to their family.
For some reason
that we don't know.
Yeah.
But then there's also that fact of the partition. A lot of them don't talk about it. They don't talk about what happened to their family. They might talk about it within their family, but probably not to their kids that
It's
are like...
not like dinner conversation.
Exactly. Especially, hi, welcome to our family.
This is my trauma.
Right. Yeah. So Sana was separated from her family and assumed to be lost, but just as the last train was about to depart from India from Pakistan, she reappeared. Sana told them that she always said she followed the trail of stars back to her father. It's very interesting.
Yeah, but it's also interesting. So maybe you can help me understand this a little more, because then they said that Sana's mother disappeared. Aisha.
Yeah.
But then later on, there's all this lore about Aisha.
Well, she disappeared later, but you have to... So all these people, like the aunties and stuff, they knew them.
Because it made it seem like in that scene, with the train.
Oh, she disappeared then. I think, yeah. Oh, man, Yusuf did say something where he was like, he either said she disappeared shortly after or during that part. I think she did disappear during the partition, though.
But, I mean, it seems like she was guiding her daughter still.
Right. Something definitely was happening. Because Sana, we do see her grandmother, Kamala's grandmother, we do see that she's still around. She does have a conversation with her later on. So it's her great-grandmother, the one that's disappeared and is missing. Right. So this is where Kamala gets her first of 2 visions in this episode. She sees what looks like to be a mysterious woman who, for all we know, is Kamran's mother, Najma. We only know that because it's in all the credits, and he does say at the end, "This is my mom," and it's the woman from the vision. So, but how does it connect? I don't know.
I think it's her grandma. It's her great grandmother.
Maybe.
And she has a crush on her uncle.
Ew, no.
But
did you hear in this vision, though, that it sounded like train noises?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. Lots of light. The way they did this scene was amazing, by the way. Oh, it looks so cool.
I do love the comical moment of when she's coming to, everybody's fawning over her, and her mother says, "Did you not eat anything, or did you eat too much?"
Yeah. As she's flicking water on her face. I love it. Yeah. But I'm curious to see what these visions and what all this does have to do with her missing great-grandmother. That's one of the mysteries.
Some sort of immortal, eternal being.
Yep.
Who I guess gathers kids that have powers. I don't know.
So if we look at what is being said about her, everything she touches is cursed. She's a snake. There's even like some talk about secret affairs and murder. So I want to say that there's 3 lies and 1 truth.
She's a snake. An actual snake.
Yeah, an actual snake. No,
Medusa.
She may have killed somebody.
Yeah,
maybe it was.
But she was like a hero, I believe.
Right. If she did disappear during the partition or something, maybe she was the one that helped the family get to that last train in some way, and she had to stay behind. I feel like there's a greater reason why. I hope she's not bad, because that would suck.
The greater good.
Yeah. Later again, when she does talk to her actual grandmother, Sana, we get no answers about the bangle.
She doesn't.
She just sent it.
Yeah.
Like it was just some random tchotchke that she's like, "Here you go."
Or maybe she didn't send it at all.
Well, she said you got the jewelry and stuff.
Oh, then why did she send it? Because she doesn't want to talk about it either. She actually rushes her off the phone and it's like, "The mango man is here. I have to go buy mangoes from him."
Maybe her great grandmother intercepted the package and then stuffed the bangle in there.
Magic baby.
Yeah. Cool.
The mysteries keep growing.
All right, let's get to the party. So we get to see Eid on full display in a Marvel property.
Bruno has been such a part of her life that earlier in the episode, she's like, "My mom wants to know if you're coming to Eid." He's like, "Oh, it's Eid again?"
Yeah. Yeah.
He's been there. He's celebrated with her. And I really love that relationship that they have.
He's a bestie. It's so sweet.
I kind of miss his long hair from the comics.
I don't.
Okay.
I like this new Bruno. I always felt like, I don't know, the long hair just always threw me off for some reason. He looked older in the comics than like he was supposed to. Personally, that's just what I thought.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just me. Comment below. How do you feel about Bruno's hair?
Bruno long or short? But so one of the major parts of this celebration for our trio is for Nakia to work hard on the mosque campaign. Yeah. Even emotionally manipulating Yusuf into changing his vote.
She learned with the guy in the food cart that politics are dirty. So guess what? She's going to play that game.
She literally was like, "Oh, thanks for that." Turned, locked eyes with Yusuf and was like, "You wouldn't rob 2 young girls of that future, would you? For this democracy."
Your daughter and your basically other daughter.
Yeah, get it.
That's what you're going to do?
Yeah.
And guess what? She got him.
Yeah. But also twofold. Kamala and Bruno also want to get some information on the bangle from their whole community because a lot of these people came from the same places that her grandmother did. So the click scene is very much inspired by Mean Girls. 100%. I loved every single animation between all of them. But just in case you didn't get all the clicks, I did write them down because they're a lot of fun. So you got the Mosque Bros. the Pious Boys, Sunday School Teachers, Instaclick, Converts, technically the Reverts, Mini Harami Girls, and my favorite, Illuminatis.
Yes.
I love it. I mean, we just got the Illuminati, so it's like, oh, this is why Ms. Marvel had to come out after.
Too clever.
So good. I liked that a lot. In between this, though, we got that weird interrogation scene with Zoe and these freaking agents. I didn't like it. It was very racist and uncomfortable.
Yeah, that actor, between this and Orange is the New Black, she just always plays an ass.
She's the worst.
And I get it, like he was trying to do like manipulative good cop thing, and then she comes in and she's bad cop, but the whole thing was gross.
Yeah.
And also, Zoe, shut up.
And I hope she had this look at the end where she's like, oh no, this isn't good. Something's weird about this. I hope this is maybe her turning point. But they're looking at mosques and everything like that for a Latinx, I'm supposed to say now, person.
And why did they try and pressure her into saying that Kamala tried to kill her?
Because they're trying to make her an enemy. I don't know why. That's the thing. I hope I feel like we need to know soon what these people are about.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be almost another Flag Smasher situation where it's like, why do I really need to care about these people?
Right.
What do they, you know what I mean? So it's like, I need some motivation. Next episode, I hope I get to see more costume on Kamala, really getting into the superhero thing, and more about these fucking agents.
Yeah.
I need to know.
I feel like we're definitely going to get more of her family history now that she's linked up with Kamran and his mother.
Exactly. Yeah. So back to the celebration. She is in full Illuminatis around her, and she's asking questions.
The dirt.
Right. And again, it's just more gossip that she's getting. There's nothing really of substance that she's getting from them. Then we see the shoe thief from the mosque is up on the little tower, decides to take the stupidest selfie.
But first, let me take a selfie and then drop to my death.
Yeah. He falls out holding on by a curtain, which that should not have held him.
No, those hooks.
Glad it did.
They weren't even closed.
Shoe thief, you're lucky. So what does Kamala do? She has powers.
Superman quick change.
Exactly. Loved it. She's still cosplayed up because she's using her cosplay
identity
costume. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did they have to register to be on there?
To vote.
No, to be in the cosplay contest. Like, wouldn't somebody just be like, okay, who are the people, and then just check it off?
Maybe. I mean,
I'm looking too much into it.
I feel like you're thinking a lot like I think about these things, which is surprising.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, back to her first public rescue.
Yes.
It doesn't really go according to plan. She seems a little nervous to go out onto her cosmic platforms. I don't know what else to call it. But
Hard light.
No, I don't like it. I don't like that.
That's what you said.
I don't like it.
All right.
But when she sees that he's about to fall even more, it seems like her powers kind of kick in a little bit.
The adrenaline.
Exactly. She kind of saves him. He ends up falling fully down, but kind of hitting platforms as he goes. She tries to stretch and grab him. Doesn't really work out.
I can't go far enough.
Yeah, she's very green still with her powers. But
Purple.
or pink. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
But this little boy apparently hurts his ankle somehow, falling on his back in a car.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's just looking for this sympathy. I don't trust him.
Yeah.
He's going to be on the news. He's the new Zoe.
Well, that's the thing that's scary about this, with her doing this as her first public rescue, especially with all these people around. She didn't save him quite as effortlessly as Iron Man would have, or Captain Marvel. So are they either going to paint her as, she shouldn't be doing this, she doesn't know what she's doing, or are they just going to be happy that he got saved? Yeah. Who knows? She flees the scene, because I would too if you're like, that was not great.
Yeah.
Flees the scene, and then drones attack her.
Which feels very nod to the comic.
Yeah.
Where those bug drones came from Thomas Edison.
The Inventor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she does do one of her big and fists and gets
smashy.
I was like, ooh. But I do want to say we haven't really gotten an action scene yet in this, so I'm waiting for one of those, because I got a little tiny taste with this drone, and I'm like, that looked cool. Give me 5 more minutes of that.
It's very much feeling like, and I feel like it was like this in Moon Knight a little bit too. It's like that Sailor Moon syndrome where the show goes through a lot of plot about who they are and what they're going through, and then the fighting is just the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of curious to see who ends up being the villain or what she's going to fight, because one, what can stand up to her powers so far, what we've seen, and also if is it going to be people or is it going to be robots, which is fine, but I want to see. I'm curious because she could go more ham if it's robots because she doesn't really have to worry about like killing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we'll see. Anyway, Kamran comes around with his neon car again, saves her,
following her, knowing all of her information and her secret identity.
Well, apparently that's fine because his mom is in the car and she's been given her visions all of a sudden. So I guess the bangle has a tracking device in it too.
Can I just stick up for Team Nakia right now?
Yeah.
She takes her helmet off immediately when she gets into Kamran's car. Meanwhile, her best friend still doesn't even know that she has powers.
Well, so he pulls up, opens the door, and she's like, Kamran? It's like, okay. I guess he knows.
She didn't even try.
Yeah, she didn't try. It's like, but they know. But yeah, it's still that thing of like, Nakia doesn't even know, but it's okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's fine. We got a little bit of Embiggen Fist. It was good. Overall, I like this episode. I still am on the same high. I don't like the show any less. I like it just the same. Plot seems to be moving. I feel like since she got in the car with it, the plot's going to move. I am curious, though, at this point, since we're going to be halfway next week, if we're going to go to Pakistan at all. How does Red Dagger play into this? So there's still a lot of pieces that need to be introduced before we continue, or it ends.
And I'm interested, just kind of going back to our what are you serving? And we brought this up in our before you watch thing, but talking about the bangle again, right? So we know that the original Captain Marvel, the dude, had bangles. Marvel,
the Nega bands.
He gave them to Quasar.
Right.
Where do they come from, though? These bands?
Yeah.
They're cosmic in some sense.
Right. Yeah. It's alien tech.
Yeah. So that maybe that's the journey that we're going on with these, but then it's going to be somehow connected to her grandmother.
I would hope so. Or it's like passed down to her family some reason because they may have saved whatever alien gave it to them. I don't know.
Do we think, though, that now remember, they said, right, her great grandmother was a snake. That feels like a Medusa reference.
Oh.
That Kamran's mother is some sort of Medusa figure.
Yeah.
Who goes around collecting
hair.
Going by drain, baby.
No, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Right?
That would be interesting. Oh. Ew. It's scary.
I don't know.
I saw Medusa in the MCU, she was shaved bald. So
that's right. I forgot she was already introduced in the Inhumans. But
she was. Yeah. It's an interesting thought, though. I am curious to see if it is going to be more cosmic in scale, which I'm more leaning to because of the Marvels. But again, it would have to come alien tech from somewhere. And they didn't make it.
What is her connection to all of it?
That is the point of the show.
We're going to learn halfway through next week.
Yeah.
We better learn something. All right. So... Shall we get to our special segment?
I didn't want to introduce it. I feel like I step in your toes.
I was like, does he have more to say? I don't know.
I have lots to say, but we're almost an hour and 20 minutes into this, so.
Dear. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, it's time for another episode of, well, that's a stretch. In the last episode, we met Stretch Armstrong, who is the toy version of the stretchiest man. But in this episode, we will meet the world's actual stretchiest man.
I don't like it.
Gary Turner. Do not Google him. It doesn't look great.
I know what you're talking about, and I don't like it.
While Gary can't stretch his limbs or tie himself in a knot like Stretch Armstrong, the UK native can stretch his skin.
Okay.
On his stomach, he can stretch his skin to just over 6 inches away from his body. He's able to be this elastic due to a rare medical condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Elasticity.
Sort of, right? It's a disorder of the connective tissues affecting the skin, ligaments, and internal organs.
Okay.
In an interview with Guinness World Records, Turner shared that he always knew he was able to stretch his skin. And, quote, as a small child, my uncles used to have fun showing their friends.
Oh, did they pull them apart?
It sounds like it.
They're like, look, we have a human kite.
Watch this.
God.
He secured his record of world's stretchiest skin on October 29th, 1999 in Los Angeles and still holds that record today. He can literally pull his neck skin up over his mouth.
Built-in mask.
Hello.
Great for the pandemic.
I mean, there's a win.
Gross, though.
But I read that he worked as like a sideshow performer and like he would take like big clips and like stretch his face out with them.
It is a sight. It is something that I'm glad I cannot do, and he can have that record forever.
Yeah.
Do they get paid?
Well,
or do they
from
just
Guinness?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you just get a plaque and like recognized. I don't know if you get a prize or anything.
Did you ever have the Guinness World Record books?
Did I?
Those are fun.
Yeah, I mean, they're fancy now, the Guinness books. They have like holographic
still make 'em?
covers. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
They're like big hardcover Guinness World Record books. Back in the day, they were the size of a mass market paperback.
Right.
And there were no fun pictures. It was all just words. It
Yep.
was incredible.
Ew. I don't like that one.
Yeah, I felt like I had to do something like that, and
Felt like you really had to stretch your options.
Yes. I did, but that's Gary Turner. Look him up. It's really wild.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's that.
I can't wait to see what you're going to stretch next week. Is it a person next week?
No.
Okay, good.
We're getting into the object area.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fine. Toys and object are fine.
Toys,
people,
foods.
I don't want people stretching. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Next week, Miss Marvel,
See
episode
you then.
3. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to A Bite Of, artwork and editing by our own Noah. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at A Bite Of Pod and on Facebook at A Bite Of. If you have questions, recommendations, or just want to say hi, you can email us at abiteofpod@gmail.com. You can find us on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate and review to spread the word. Hope you join us next time on A Bite Of. Bye!